Guys, Mark Goldberg here from Mark Vlogs Watches with a quick word for your friend and mine, Archie Luxury, Paul Pluta, AC3, Archibald Chesterfield III. You know, he invented the quick wristwatch check, and the rest of us on YouTube, well, we just stole it. Help keep Archie full-time on YouTube by liking this video, watching this video, tell your fuckhead friends, and make sure to subscribe to his Patreon. And now, Archie Luxury.
Hey guys, ArchieLuxury, ArchieLuxury channel. Today guys, I got a completely new project. It's this project is called My Watch Story. And I would like you guys to be involved. And what I want to do is I want to know the story. I want to know your wristwatch story. Okay? I want to know your wristwatch story. What I want to know is I want to know which wristwatch means most to you. And I want to put these stories together. I may even get a self-published book out or a magazine, something like that. I don't want to have grandiose ideas just yet, but I would like to get your wristwatch story. So I think the first thing I'll do is I'll tell you my wristwatch story and see if you can help me along and look, what I want to do is I'd like you to send me $20 US, and I want you to send me your photo and a photo of the watch that means the most to you. So send it to ArchieLuxury72@gmail.com, ArchieLuxury72@gmail.com. So let's have a look at my watch story. What wristwatch means the most to me? Okay, so let's start this story. This is my tale of what wristwatch means the most to me. What is my watch story? Okie dokie. So firstly, I've always loved wristwatches. I can remember in primary school getting one from my grandfather, and then I got my father's hand-me-downs. I had what did I fucking have? Wasn't it? It was Anyhow, I had some hand-me-downs and I had some Seikos. And then eventually, you know, as a man, as an adult, you start to get into watches. And I was very fortunate. I got a 1016 Rolex Explorer 1 when I was 18. But that's not the watch that I miss most. Yes, it's been long since traded and swapped, etc. No, the watch that means the most to me is actually my Patek Philippe 5035, my annual calendar in yellow gold. And what my watch story was is that I was coming up to my 40th birthday. And this was before I turned the big 40. Well, I think 40 is one of your big life events. I never really celebrated. I had a 20th birthday, but I never really had friends or shit like that. My 30th birthday, well, I actually was in Thailand and my friend / boss let me down. And so 40 was kind of my next big event. So I wanted to mark it with something special for myself. And I remember I was in Vintage Watch Co, which used to be called Brisbane Vintage Watches. And I was just chewing the fat talking to Ronnie. And I remember he said, "Hey, do you want to see this great Patek Philippe?" I said, "Sure." And it was a 5035 annual calendar. and I already had a 5107 in white gold, and he pulls out this yellow gold 5035, and I said, "Oh, too expensive, too expensive." He goes, "No, not necessarily." And I gotta tell you, we managed to work out a deal on this piece. I actually bought this piece here, and I had no money, of course. This was thousands of dollars, and I remember I had absolutely no money to buy it. It was in the region of about $20,000. I gotta confess, I'd been looking around at cars, and I almost was pre-approved for a car loan. So I decided to refinance my paid-off car and buy this Patek Philippe. Deal done, finance in place. And I remember my wife at the time, I said to her, "I really want to buy this watch. Can you please help me? I need you to sign this form." It was the finance, because I refinanced my paid off. It was a Honda Accord. I paid it off, and I gotta be honest with you, I went against what my old man said. I had no money. There's no way in the world I could afford to buy a annual calendar Patek second hand or otherwise. I didn't have the $20,000. So she very nicely actually did sign it, and I then proceeded to collect my Patek Philippe, my 5035. And I gotta tell you, it was an amazing piece. This was my second Patek. I had a 5107, which very similar to what I'm wearing today, my 5127. And I had the 5035, which was the annual calendar, and I was absolutely chuffed to bits. I was chuffed to bits. And I mean, my YouTube channel was in its infancy. I was just happy to basically use the Google ads to pay off this watch. And I gotta tell you, it was amazing piece to have. It made me feel like $1 million. My 40th birthday came, because I got it before my 40th. And what I actually did was, for a whole year, from 40 to 41, I wore that watch every day. Now, I may have only worn it an hour one day, but I did wear it every day. I touched it every day. And I gotta say, I really loved that watch. And that was all very cool. That was fantastic. And fast forward a couple of years, and then what happened is that my wife, who'd signed the papers, then had a car accident at 100 kilometers an hour. She basically changed lanes, didn't see a car in the other lane, and the car spun out. Thankfully, she wasn't hurt, besides some whiplash. And that was basically it. Before you knew it, her life had flashed up like that. And I gotta tell you, it was a very big shock. And I've got to tell you this story. I kind of realized, geez, I didn't really want to lose her. I had 2 infant children at the time. And I thought, Jesus, this would have been terrible. If it had it played out slightly differently, we'd be organizing her funeral. And I thought to myself, you know something, I really do love my Patek Annual Calendar 5035. I really do love that watch. But I think it's time I sell it. We had to replace the car, which that we basically got finance for that. We got a new car. And I thought, you know what, I really want to buy something. So I put some of the money. She always wanted a piano, and I wanted to get a grand piano, not an upright, not a used piano. I wanted brand spanking new baby grand piano. And I remember going to the Kauai dealer. I'd already negotiated with him. It was a $13,000 piano, and I said, look, I've got cash. If my wife likes this, what's the best deal? And he said, I'll give it to you $9,000 plus 200 delivery. 9,200. So I remember taking my wife there in the rental car, because our car had been been written off. And I remember we went in and I said, look, what do you think of one of these pianos here, Baby Grand Kauai? And she said, yes, it's beautiful. I said, let's buy it. And I did the deal, paid for it the next day, and it was delivered. And so I'd sold the 5035. And it was interesting. The kids were at a very young age. They were all inquisitive. Like, you know, the kids, you know, they were sort of, you know, just in primary school. So they were inquisitive. They were happy to play piano and that there. So that was 2014, start of 2014, and got the piano, and I remember that I delivered the 5035. I flew down to Melbourne. The guy had a Lamborghini Diablo and an SL and a Rolls Royce. Very cool guy. And I delivered it, and I had a drink with him. We drank Penfolds Grange Hermitage, Australia's best red wine. It's a Shiraz. And I thought, you know, it's good. It's gone to a really cool guy. And I've now using the money for something for the family. So that was really cool. That was really, really, really cool. I remember writing a letter to him, because he wanted a letter from me to say it belonged to ArchieLuxury, the YouTube celebrity. I remember writing the letter, and I got the letter back, and I said, please look after my watch. I really love this watch. And it's funny, I kind of, you know, I'd sold it, got the money, and the money was used for the piano, which the kids were young, they wanted to play, so it was all very, very good. Fast forward, so I sold that in 2014. Fast forward 5 years, 2019, and he rang me one day and said, hey, do you want to buy it back? And I'd emotionally separated myself from the watch. I had emotionally let it go. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, let me think about it. I wasn't really 100% interested. I thought, oh, it's a lot of money. He said to me, look, I'll sell it to you a bit cheaper than he paid for it. And I said, you know, it's probably really needing a service now. When I sold it to you, it was kind of coming up. now it probably really does need it. And I said, look, I just sort of, and it's one of these things, I didn't, because I'd emotionally separated from it, I didn't see it as my watch. I kind of thought, no, I've been there, done that, no. And it took a good friend, Dave, my friend, to say to me, Archie, wake the fuck up. Get it. And I was on holidays. I was actually in Singapore with Dave. And he said to me, you should fucking buy that annual calendar back. And I'd said to him, look, I'd try to negotiate. He goes, what did he want? And I said, look, the guy wanted 20 grand for it. And I'd offered him 18 and a half. And he said, stop being a fucking tight ass. Pay the money and organize it now. And I thought, fuck, he's right. Don't be stingy. Pay the money. The guy's been very fair. Pay the money. Get your annual calendar 5035 yellow gold back. And I gotta tell you, I ended up trading my I was going to sell my Explorer and my Bluesy, but I ended up selling my Zenith, which I take it as a gift from God, because Zeniths are fucking hard to sell. They're fucking hard. The guy nickeled and dimed me a bit. Yeah, he was a bit of an asshole like that, but he got it, paid me, and then I didn't have to sell the Explorer, which I ended up selling the Explorer to get a 5196 a couple months later. But the important thing is that I sold the Zenith, flew down to Sydney, dropped off my Bluesy, got the cash, jumped on the plane, flew down to Melbourne, paid for the 5035, picked it up. I was always worried too. Do you have the box still? Do you have the certificate? Do you have? I was just, you know, you always, I always assume the worst. He's lost this, it's damaged, it's fucked, it's this, it's that. I always assume the worst. Could be water damage, could be this. You know, you're just a doubting Thomas. And the watch was fine. It was exactly like I'd left it. We'd wore it a few times, very sparingly. It was well cared for. He had the box, he had the papers, everything was, as it even had the letter I wrote to say this was my watch. And I gotta tell you, it was magic to pick up my watch again. I'd put on a little bit of weight, so I actually, where it used to fit me okay, it was actually on the last fucking hole. So I'm thinking, fuck, fat boy, you need to lose some weight. And I gotta tell you, I got it back, and then I thought, you know what, I gotta get this thing, I'm still doubting. I said, I gotta get this thing fully serviced. So Patek in Australia is pretty hopeless. The agent's just shit. I thought, right, I gotta jump. I went over to Singer's, dropped it off. They gave me a quote. It was quite reasonable. The service was 1,950 Singapore dollars. It was 300 Singapore dollars to polish the case. I said, yes, do that. Get it professionally polished. And it was $700 for a longer strap, which I said, yes, let's do it. Let's do it properly. And I got to be honest with you, I was happy there because I knew it wasn't going to cost that much. And I ended up, listen to this, it was ready when the Patek exhibition was on. Yes, when the Patek exhibition in Singapore was on, my Patek was ready to collect. So it was a double whammy. Not only did I pick up my 5035 annual calendar, but I also went to the Patek exhibition at Marina Bay Sands. And I met a really cool guy, Polish guy. I won't mention his name, Polish guy, really cool. He had a 5110P he was wearing. Really cool guy. I remember thinking, do I put this on or not? I wore it at the exhibition. And I gotta tell you, I really, really, really love that watch. And it does wear small. It's a 37 mil, but it's got a 19 mil strap. It's quite tall and it's quite short. So it actually wears smallish, okay? But I don't care. It's not for sale. It's not for sale because of the fact it's my watch. I would never sell that watch again. I needed the money for personal reasons. I needed the money, and I'm so happy to have it back. I love it. It came back beautiful, like new, better than it's ever been in its life. Absolutely gorgeous, and I'm just happy to have it back. And the most ironic thing about this, I shit you not, the advertisement for the Patek 5035 is a guy teaching his son piano. And that's why I sold the 5035 to buy a baby grand piano for my family. And it's kind of so ironic. And I'm just glad to have it back. I'm glad to have it back. I love that watch more than any of my other Pateks. I love all my Pateks, but it's just such a cool story, and it's a journey. It wasn't just simple and I had money and I was loaded and no. This is a story from a battler. I struggled. I couldn't afford the Patek. I financed it and I needed that money back. And I'm really happy to have it back. I'm really happy to have it back. Out of all the material possessions I've owned, and I've owned some amazing possessions. I had an E30 BMW. I had a 1016 Explorer 1 Rolex. I had a gold sub. I've had oodles and oodles of really cool shit. That 5035 is probably, if anything I could get back, it would be that watch. And I've got it back. It's perfect. It's had Patek service. And I'm over the moon to have it. So that is my Patek, that is my watch story. And I really do love that watch more than anything. I love that watch. It's almost the same as I love a family member, one of my kids. That is how strongly I love that watch. It's just my watch. It's my watch. And that's my watch story. So guys, if you have a watch story, a great watch story, I want to hear about it. It doesn't need to be a Patek. It can be a non-valuable watch. It can be, an insignificant watch. I want to hear the story. Guys, email me ArchieLuxury72@gmail.com. I want you to send me a picture of yourself, a picture of the watch, and tell me your story. I'm going to be putting a book together with this in it. $20 US. Let's listen to each other's story. I'm Paul Pluta. This is a special episode for the ArchieLuxury and the Paul Pluta channels. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think, guys. See you later.
Oh. Hey Archie Luxury fans, if you're into luxury, then you gotta be into 66 Buick Rivieras. Check out my son and I, Alex, as we restore this beautiful 66 Buick.
Neighbors are having a picnic, you know, having fun and stuff. Me, I'm doing cars. It's what I've done my whole life.
David S.W. David S.W. David S.W. Who does ArchieLuxury recommend is the greatest grey market dealer in America? There's only one choice, David S.W. That's right, guys. I've got to tell you the honest truth. I have, for a long time, been looking for the perfect answer. Who do I recommend people go to see? Who do I recommend that people can go and buy watches? And I've got to be honest with you. The greatest pre-owned dealer for Rolex, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet is David S.W. David S.W. David S.W. DavidSW.com. That's right, guys. I have been looking for a contact who I can very nicely refer people to. I am not in the selling business. Customer service, I'm too old to sell watches. I'm too old. I like to recommend my viewers to a reliable source. In Australia, I've got some great sources. There's Sydney Watch Exchange with Cove, Ronnie at Vintage Watch Co, Shani at European Watch Gallery. And in America, who is the best source for pre-owned Rolex, for all the hot models? There's only one person I would recommend, David S.W. David S.W. David S.W. That is the premier source for pre-owned Rolex. I gotta be completely frank and honest with you. Guys, if you are looking for a hot Rolex model, there is only one place you can go to. David S.W. David S.W. David S.W. Let's be honest, guys. There's no point schmoozing the dealers, the ADs. They're just a waste of time. Unless you're going to buy 20 pieces, you are wasting your time. What you're better off to do is pay the market premium and go to a good pre-owned dealer. Who do I recommend? David S.W. David S.W. David S.W. That's correct, guys. I want to tell you this now. I 100% stand behind David S.W. David S.W., the greatest pre-owned dealer in the entire United States of America. That's right, the greatest pre-owned dealer for Rolex, for Patek Philippe, for Audemars Piguet, David S.W. He even does things like FP Journe. David S.W. David S.W. David S.W. That's right. If you want to buy a pre-owned Rolex, a Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, there's only one good source I would recommend. David S.W. David S.W. David S.W. I'm Paul Pluta, the method actor who plays Archibald Chesterfield III, and I'm proud to recommend David S.W. See you later. Thank you for watching this channel.